It begins not with a wall, but with a suggestion, a quiet, vertical breath of life planted along a boundary. In this narrow space between home and fence, a new layer of the garden has been whispered into being. The morning light does not strike it, but instead finds its way through, a patient, lateral visitor that slowly delineates each slender form. The stillness here is not empty. It is charged with a soft potential, a gathering of vertical lines that hold the space differently. The air feels closer, somehow softer against this living lattice. You can sense the separation it creates, not as a barrier, but as a veil, filtering the world beyond into shapes of light and gentle, moving shadow. This is the first moment of the screen's presence, a delicate articulation of space meant not to shout, but to murmur. The entire yard seems to draw in a breath, settling around this new, growing silence. From this vantage, the purpose of the space reveals itself. It is a corridor, a channel of calm. The overcast light washes everything in a tone of muted silver, erasing harshness, blending the hues of wood, mulch, and young growth into a harmonious, quiet spectrum. The screen runs like a gentle seam along the fence, a living stitch in the garden's fabric. There is a profound domesticity to this view's clean lines of the home's foundation, the orderly spread of mulch, the deliberate curve of a single garden hose left resting. This is not wilderness, but a curated stillness. The willows stand in a patient row, their collective presence beginning to soften the hard lines of the property's edge. The air is cool and still, holding the scent of damp wood and earth. It is a space of transition, of moving from one part of the home's exterior to another, now framed by this whispering, growing line. This is the reward of the veil. From within, the garden turns inward, becomes a room. The world beyond the property line dissolves into abstract shapes and colors, a hint of siding, a smear of green, all softened and made distant by the lattice of living stems. The light that reaches the patio is no longer just sunlight. It is patterned, broken into coins of warmth that shift imperceptibly with the breeze. The clay pot sits in a pool of this light, its terracotta glow intensified. Here, the screen performs its quiet magic, not by hiding, but by translating the outside into a gentle impression. It creates solitude without isolation, a sense of enclosure that feels protective and deeply peaceful. The stillness is textured with the faint, almost subconscious rustle of leaves, a sound that seems to measure the passage of time not in seconds, but in breaths. At the foot of this living structure, the smallest stories unfold. Here, the energy of growth is palpable, yet it expresses itself with a silent, relentless gentleness. The new leaves are a brighter, almost luminous green against the richer, deeper tones of the older wood and the dark, moist mulch. They curl and reach, each one a perfect, delicate vessel for the soft light that coats them. This is the screen's foundation, the constant, quiet renewal that sustains its presence. There is an intimacy in this view, a looking so close that the rest of the garden falls away. The texture of the mulch becomes a landscape, the pattern of the stems a forest. It is a reminder that the entire structure, this idea of seclusion, is built upon these countless minute moments of emergence. The stillness here is the stillness of intense, focused life, of processes too slow and subtle for the eye to see in motion, only in result. Within the loose weave, intention reveals itself softly. A knot not tight or constricting, but a gentle guiding of one stem to meet another. The backlight catches the fibers of the bark, revealing a topography of ridges and subtle color variations, turning the junction into a study of texture and collaborative form. This is where the human hand has conversed with the plant's nature, a silent dialogue resulting in this elegant, functional artistry. The light seems to honor this detail, crowning it with a soft, luminous haze. The out-of-focus background melts into a wash of green, ensuring no distraction from this quiet, structural poetry. It speaks of care, of a patience that works with growth rather than forcing it. This small, woven heart within the screen is an anchor point, a symbol of the gentle craft that shapes this living veil without diminishing its wild, whispering spirit. From the other side, the screen presents a different face. It is a calm, uniform presence, a gentle wall of muted color and soft texture. The bright sky behind it throws the entire structure into a kind of elegant relief, simplifying its complexity into a single, breathing plane. It does not feel hostile or blank, but rather respectfully present. It declares a boundary through beauty, not through force. The light here is flat and even, allowing no glimpse of the intimate spaces within. Yet the very nature of its living material suggests the life and care that exists behind it. This is the seclusion it offers, viewed from the outside, a polite, graceful turning inward of the garden, a creation of private atmosphere. The stillness on this side is the stillness of a finished thought, a completed sentence in the dialogue between home and neighborhood. The rain visits, and the screen becomes a jeweler's display. Each droplet captures a fragment of the gray sky, a tiny, perfect lens hanging from a stem or poised on the tip of a leaf. The colors deepen, the greens become profound. The wood chips a rich, dark brown, the fence a weathered charcoal. The air is clean and carries the petrichor scent of damp earth and wet vegetation. The screen seems closer, more substantial in the moist air, its weave holding the memory of the shower. The quiet now is amplified, a hush felt in the absence of bird calls and the muffled sound of distant rain on roofs. This is the garden in a state of reception, drinking in the moisture, letting it adorn its forms. The seclusion feels absolute, as if the rain has drawn a curtain around the entire property, and the willow screen is the innermost layer of that peaceful, temporary isolation. The day's final act bestows a moment of fleeting drama. The low sun finds a narrow gap between homes and trees, and for a few minutes, it ignites the crown of the screen. The upper leaves become vessels of fire, glowing with an internal ember-like light, their edges sharp against the darkening blue sky. Beneath this radiant band, the screen falls quickly into a cool, mysterious shadow. This gradient of light tells the entire story of the days in celebration, followed by quietude. The screen is no longer just a structure. It is a canvas for the sky's most intimate performance. The long shadows stretch across the garden, stretching the quiet moment into something palpable and deep. The warmth of the light is almost tactile, a final, gentle caress before the evening cool settles in. It is a testament to how this living feature changes not just space, but how light itself is experienced in this small, domestic realm. Night falls, and the relationship flips. Now, the garden is defined by the light from the home. A window spills a pool of warm, artificial glow onto the ground, a geometric island of visibility in the deepening dark. The willow screen retreats into silhouette, its intricate details collapsing into a solid, graceful shape, a cutout against the lesser darkness of the sky. This light does not try to illuminate the screen. It acknowledges its presence as a dark, protective companion just beyond the reach of the domestic sphere. The air is cool, the sounds of night insects beginning their chorus. This view is the essence of home and garden's safe, lit interior extending its feeling, if not its actual light, into the cared-for exterior. The screen stands guard, ensuring that this extension of feeling remains private, intimate, and softly bounded. The stillness is profound, a settled quiet after the day's slow narrative of light. In the hour before dawn, the garden exists in a state of pure potential. The blue light unifies everything: screen, path, fence, home into a single cool-toned dream. Dew has settled, a silent, collective exhalation of the night, dressing each willow stem and leaf in a suit of tiny, perfect beads. The screen is a tapestry of gray and silver, dormant yet utterly present. The faint glow in the sky promises change, but for now, everything is suspended, hushed, and waiting. This is the deepest stillness, the pause between the breath in and the breath out. The screen, now a veteran of a full cycle of light and weather, stands with a quiet confidence. It has done its work, filtering light, shaping space, holding the quiet. It is no longer just a project or a feature. It is a permanent, breathing character in the life of this small home, a whisper that has become part of the garden's enduring voice. The day will begin again, and the slow dance of light and shadow will resume across its living weave.